So that's right, I'm back with more videos. In this video, we're going to talk about girl bosses, right? And why they're having a meltdown. I thought they wanted a career. They've been telling us for decades that, or if not a century, that women are being oppressed by men due to toxic masculinity, patriarchy, and things like that. And now all of a sudden, women have it better than ever. In many cases, women are equal or overrepresenting men, whether it's in colleges, in some cases in management roles, and all of a sudden they're whinging, they're complaining, and I really don't get it. I thought this is what you always wanted all along. You wanted men to kind of step aside. You wanted women to be able to compete with men, because I think everything we've been told is that anything a man can do, a woman can do better. Women are brave, strong, courageous, hashtag girl power, hashtag girl boss, Me Too or M2, all these type of things, right? Believe all women. So let's see what's going on here. Why are they struggling with something they apparently fought centuries for, or decades at least?
Can someone please explain to me why all I do is eat, sleep, and go to work, yet I'm always hungry, tired, and broke?
So that was a very quick clip. We're going to go into a few more clips in a moment. But this woman clearly pointing out that, oh, she's upset about having the fact that she's hungry, tired, and broke, despite the fact that she's eat, sleep, and work is kind of her life. But what she doesn't understand, this is how most men have lived their life for centuries, right? As long as time has existed, really. You basically had men who would go to work with whatever that would be, you know, whether it's in caveman times where men would go and hunt and be effective as a tribe to defend their women and kids in the caves that they were living in, or however they were living in primal human history. And then after that, men would go and work in, you know, trades, carpentry, construction, anything you can imagine, being a locksmith, whatever type of trade there'd be, right? And they would do all of these things, not because they enjoy the job that much. No man really enjoys his job that much in most cases. They would do it to provide for their wife and kids, and they would effectively live a sacrificial life, live life as a sacrificial lamb. And this has just been the life of men for centuries. So why are women so, frustrated with it now? I thought this is what they wanted. Did they not realize the reality of the working world? Did they think that, in some typical fashion, that what the working world was about for men was all about keeping up appearances, right? This isn't like a reality TV show. This isn't a sitcom. It does involve a lot of hard work, a lot of backstabbing and kind of psychopathic behavior that we all have to tolerate in the corporate environment. So the fact that they're kind of not getting that, you'd have to work really hard, deal with unfair working conditions, and even then, they're whinging about it, because if you think about it, for many years or many centuries, men would do very hard manual labor works, like in the coal mines and things like that, on oil rigs. And it's like, could women really survive there? Because women have got the easiest job, and they've got preferential treatment for promotion and hiring, as you can see with DEI and feminism and equality, gender equality practices, which really result in quite a heavy bias in favor of women, as I've described in many of my videos. So they've got these cushy laptop jobs, email jobs where it's just sending emails back and forth, attending some meetings in these easy, kind of comfy office environments with air conditioning, kind of chill. They're not doing the hard manual labor that men have done for centuries, that apparently women were so eager to be in the workforce for. They've got these super easy jobs that it's really a job. If you think about a lot of office jobs, a lot of it's about playing office politics and being popular. That's what it's become now. It's become like a high school drama in a lot of office environments. How can they be whinging about that and being upset about that when it's like so relatively easy compared to what men have done for literally centuries? So let's listen to the next clip.
I'm fucking tired of working. I really am. One day out of this fucking year, I just need to wake up to something good. Like, oh, you don't gotta work no more. You could pay off your fucking debt. You could get a house, get a car. Tired of living this fucking 9 to 5 and these fucking people at the fucking jobs being bullies, and I'm just fucking sick of it. I'm sick of waking up every day and not feeling fulfilled. I'm sick of waking up every day on a fucking routine, a schedule, and I'm not even doing nothing with my life but fucking working. I can't even be on TikTok or nothing because I'm always fucking working. I can't become an influencer or give back to my YouTube or do any fucking thing because I'm always fucking working. Then these fucking jobs don't even fucking appreciate you for even coming in to work. You get there and they all got fucking attitudes. You're getting other people fucking negative energy. People don't know how to wake up on the right side of the fucking bed. They're always waking up on the wrong side. Then they got an attitude with you. Then I'm just here for the check, bitch. I'm not here for your fucking attitudes. I'm not here for the fucking rude ass customers. Fuck working. Fuck America and they fucking working ass fucking stupid ass jobs. I hate it here. Is this the American dream? Because bitch, I'm not dreaming. This is a fucking nightmare.
So what she's saying here, as I say, is the reality of the working environment, wherever it be. And they should be grateful that at least it's not like, like I say, manual jobs that men will do, like construction. It's kind of an easy office job. That's what it sounds like, right? You're always going to have to deal with difficult co-workers. You're going to have this tight routine schedule where it is kind of, like I say, you wake up, maybe you get ready, work out, have some physical activity, and then you eat, go to the work, come back, and it's like this. Eat, work, sleep is kind of the routine that men have kind of adapted to survive in this system. And I agree that a lot of the criticism she has and these other women have about the systems are legitimate, but it's like we've been told that women are better than us, women are smarter than us, women are better communicators than us, and all these better things, that qualities they have. Then it's like, why are they whinging about what they were fighting for? If they're so smart, why were they so easily fooled to, negate being a housewife or stay-at-home mother and work in a corporate environment? If the whole thing was a big elaborate trick and rouse to kind of brainwash them, then how did they not see through the brainwashing, given apparently they're so smart and so much smarter than us? And it's like, I don't think they really appreciate that men had kind of just got on with it for centuries, right? And the only thing is, you've seen in more recent years with RP, red pill, things like that, with the men going their own way and things like that. MGTO, you know what it is. I don't know if you can say it on this platform, but only recently you can see men saying, okay, well, if women are going to put their best interests ahead of men, if the corporations are going to back women in every single way, the corporations, the government, the media, is all going to be tailored to artificially propping up women over men, the vast majority of working age, military age men, then only recently you're seeing men looking out for their best interest. It's only recently, if you really think about it, I would say the last 5 to 10 years, you really see men saying, okay, well, I'll avoid marriage, or I'll avoid being in a relationship, or I'll avoid going to work and being the kind of simp beta orbiter, or being the kind of work husband, or picking up the slack for women not doing their job, or listening to women chit chat in the office all day long and the man's doing all the work. Only recently have you seen a pushback from men saying, oh, well, if I haven't got any stake in this society, what's the point? Well, do I really need a corporate job, or should I just make a much lower income and then live abroad and work remotely? Or should I just kind of save up some money in the corporate world and then learn a trade and go live off grid? Only recently, it's a very new trend, and women are just picking up on the fact that maybe they have been bamboozled with these career jobs and these standard 9-to-5 jobs, and men have kind of, smartened themselves up through being treated like second-class citizens for literally decades, that they need to kind of look out for their best interest the same way women are encouraged by every single avenue to look out for their best interest and use men or use the system or leverage any type of bias in their favor. And only recently men are kind of realizing, well, hold on, if you want the corporate environment, then take it. A corporate environment, it can belong to the feminists, it can belong to the kind of soy boy, bug man, liberal, woke man, however you want to describe it, the new male, whatever you want to call it, right? It can belong to them, because it doesn't kind of belong to men anymore, right? If you've got a backbone and you're a man and you don't like to be disrespected and you want to live your life with dignity, then it's like the corporate environment really isn't for you anymore, apart from earning as high income as you can for however many years, saving it, investing it, and moving forward with your life, maybe through becoming a consultant, a contractor, learning another trade and things like that. So what she mentions here in terms of attitude and clients and things like that, so a lot of these skills are really emotional skills, and you think, based on the narratives we're told by this system, women are more emotionally evolved and adapted than men. Women are way more emotionally mature. Then in that case, they should have more patience to deal with the attitude when it comes to toxic co-workers, clients and things like that. But we see in many cases that might not be the case. And when it comes to real pressurized work environments, like working on the trading floor, where I have worked for many years, over a decade in the finance industry, working in sales and trading, investment banking type of roles, where it is high pressure, you do see the woman kind of fall into depending on the man when there is emotionally pressure, or they might break down and go to the girl's bathroom to cry it out, or have an emotional outburst and things like that. So it's like all these things we were told that women are better than at men, and women have kind of convinced themselves too, with the help of decades of schooling and media propaganda and things like that. All of a sudden, it feels like they just don't have what it takes, even though we're told that they're, like I say, better than us. So let's listen to some other people's takes and learn how women are far more capable than us as men, but apparently struggling to deal with some of the basics.
If you hate your job, listen to me. I have a reminder for you. Let's pretend you spend the rest of your life climbing whatever corporate ladder you're on right now. When you're in your 70s or 80s and you're thinking back on your life and thinking about your career and all the things that you did and didn't do you really want to have to come to terms with the fact that you spent 30 or 40 years climbing a corporate ladder you didn't even give a shit about? I'm only saying this because I love you. You could be traveling the world right now. You could be fulfilling your literal lifelong dreams right now. You could be doing whatever you feel like doing every day right now. And you're wasting your life away because you keep talking yourself out of doing it. Quit.
So what can we learn from this? Sometimes when I do see people like this, I wonder how stressed are they really, right? Because she doesn't look like someone who's kind of that stressed. Maybe she's on a weekend and she's kind of living a chill life. A lot of it is not adding up, right? The way, they say they're stressed, they say they've had enough, but they look kind of relatively unstressed, right? Now, there's a couple key points to kind of focus on here. Firstly, when she mentions the corporate ladder, that's very true. I've covered several videos. If you just search my channel for corporate ladder, I have a few videos about how the corporate ladder is a lie and you've been kind of lied to when you're being told that, oh, you have to follow you find the corporate ladder. It doesn't pay off in more cases than not. And then also when it comes to, when she says, oh, live your best life, kind of travel and things like that and do whatever you want. A lot of this kind of emotional, snap your fingers and make a decision, immature mentality sometimes you have to deal with when it comes to women. It's like, do they not realize, okay, well, have you budgeted ahead for several years? If you're traveling and you kind of, who's going to catch you when you fall, essentially? Or what if you can't get another job? And what I've realized, in reality, many times I've seen women who've maybe changed their careers, who may be kind of living this stress-free life, even with a corporate job, there's typically a man behind the scenes picking up the bill. Some cases, you might see my other videos, there was a case where a Chinese American woman was complaining about her long work hours, working a high stress, high pay corporate job, and her parents were actually paying the rent for her. And my experience, as I say, I've worked at some Goldman Sachs, Morgan Stanley, other companies. Sometimes female co-workers, not saying those companies specifically, but just in general, sometimes female co-workers with very high paying corporate jobs, they're living rent free because their boyfriend or their husband that they might break up with later is basically paying all their rent. So imagine working in London, getting paid a high six-figure salary, and they're not paying rent in an environment where men are picking up the tab for them. A woman might be, going out on several dates with men who are paying for expensive restaurants, and a woman are strong and independent, they don't split the bill 50-50, right? So you see all these type of nuances where like women are complaining about their job, but they actually have it a lot easier than men who are not complaining. So often I've seen men who would like pick up the bill, like I say, for meals, even if women are getting paid more than them that they're in a relationship with, or paying for travel, paying for their rent. And then it's kind of ridiculous because you have men picking up the bill, men picking up the traditional gender role of a man being the provider, but these women are focused on their career, they're focused on going out to fancy restaurants, spending their evening doing whatever they want to do, yoga, going out with friends, going out for drinks. So women are not picking up their side of the tab, like doing their chores, which would be the gender role of a woman in a marriage or relationship. So many things are biased in their favor, but they're still whinging about it. And many cases I've seen corporate environments, as I mentioned before, there are hiring and promotion benefits or biases in favor of women because of the whole gender equality propaganda agenda. So it's like in many cases you'll have women making a lot more money than men and a lot more senior positions, but they're still whinging. It's never enough. No amount of special treatment and preferential treatment is enough. So it's like, what's the solution here that she's trying to provide? Is just kind of, throw away all your responsibilities and you'll figure it out somehow. That's not really how the world works. What ends up happening is, like I say, the solution ends up being finding a man, even if it's a simp, a woman with a man she doesn't really respect. At least he'll pick up the bills and he'll pick up the tab and do all the serious stuff so she can live a carefree life. And I've seen that in many cases in people's marriages, long-term relationships, short-term relationships and things like that in the corporate environment. And it's very interesting because I remember one specific example right now where a woman decided she didn't want to work a high stress corporate job, so she moved to kind of a lower stress administrative type of work that she was doing, and she took a massive pay cut. Like pay had gone down by a third, or 2/3, right? So imagine your pay being cut 2/3, right? It's quite a big pay cut. So I was thinking, I asked her after I knew her relatively well, so I asked her, so how did you manage to do that? Such a big change. She said, thankfully my husband is quite a well-paid corporate executive, and he owns some real estate, and he was helping pay the bills for her essentially through his real estate and through his own job. So there's always a backstory like this. The whole strong independent woman narrative, there's normally some backstory. It's like a company, if a woman's got some big agenda she's pushing around the climate agenda, around some kind of feminist agenda, you'll find an NGO in the background funding that book launch, funding that charity initiative, which is really about brainwashing and pushing the feminist or liberal agendas. A lot of this whole strong independent narrative, it falls apart once you do a bit of digging. So let's move on and learn from some more cases.
I'm gonna complain a little bit today. Just let me complain and then I'll get over it. I still cannot process that if you work a 9 to 5 or an 8 to 5 in my case, you're expected to work until you're like 70. It's not just about working 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. It is about the lifestyle that comes with it. If I want to get a workout in before starting my work day, I have to wake up at 5 a.m. I'm at the gym 5:30 to 6:30. I have to come home, shower, get ready, eat some breakfast, because I am not gonna stop taking care of myself for a job. And I'm not talking about grabbing an apple and calling it a day. I am gonna eat a well-balanced breakfast. Then you have to take into consideration lunchtime. You have to pack yourself a lunch if you don't want to spend like $20 a day on a lunch. Finally get to the office 8 a.m. 8 a.m. till 5 p.m. You're stuck at a desk. Take into consideration commute time. Luckily for me, I am very blessed with an amazing commute time. And then take into consideration that a lot of people have side jobs. I'm a personal trainer, so I train a client from 5:30 p.m. until 6:45 p.m. every single day. 6:45, 7 p.m. you have to start making dinner. Then you eat. Then you have to clean the kitchen. By the time you're done, it's 8:30 p.m. And if you want to get a decent amount of sleep in order to wake up at 5 a.m. again, you have to be in bed by 9 p.m. So you're telling me out of your whole day, you only get 30 minutes to yourself to either do skincare, check your fucking phone. It's not that I'm lazy, okay? I've had 3 jobs at once. It's the fact that the older I get, the more time I want to invest in myself and not on anyone else's business. This morning, it just really hit me. I really have to do this for the next 40 years.
Oh, a key thing I mention on my channel again and again is that when you pick a career, you pick a lifestyle. So she's picked this career of working in the office based on the background. It looks like it's a relatively nice modern office. And she's mentioning she doesn't have any free time. But what was she expecting? You know, it's like, does she not understand, as I say again, that the sacrifices most men would make? I know a lot of men, and I've been in this position where you have to work extremely long hours, and then when you take into the commute and the evening, you don't really have an evening. Your evening, you might spend, like I say, an hour or two just quickly recovering. You might have dinner and maybe on your laptop for a bit, and then you fall asleep essentially, right? Or you're going to spend your evenings meal prepping for the next couple of days. And what these women don't get is they've got everything handed to them. They've got exactly what they wanted for decades, right? Everything's being tailored to them. The workplace environment is feminized, is treated like a daycare. Again, you can search my channel for the term daycare for how the workplace has become emasculating and is kind of really based on around what women's sensibilities would be. And then it's like you don't have time for your side jobs, of course, if you're working a high-power corporate job, which again, I'm sure when I see women like this, I've worked with many like this, and they don't seem to get that the corporate hiring process is incredibly biased in their favor. So it's kind of like, okay, you've got the special treatment at work, you've got your special treatment in society with the way kind of men are simping for women, from the media, from the government, from the broader culture. How are you still whinging about things, right? And then if you don't have time for hobbies, well, you got what you wanted, right? And if you had traditional gender roles, then you'd be able to split responsibilities. The chores would be done between men and women. Women might do more of the traditional feminist chores, like feminine chores, which would be, you know, cooking or cleaning. The men would do the DIY in the building and some of the more manual labor aspects of maintaining a household. But if you have a breakdown of gender relations and people just not being in relationships or not getting married, then you're going to have this. So you should welcome the results of feminism, which is being strong and independent with no one to lean on, and, you know, having to handle all your income requirements and all your chores and lifestyle requirements, because no one's gonna pick up the tab for you, right? So when she talks about investing time in herself, I don't know this individual specifically, but like, again, it doesn't look like she's stressed. Normally when people are stressed from their jobs and they're kind of worn out from it, there are some signs. You'd see it on their face, you'd see it on the way they conduct themselves. It looks like she lives quite a comfortable, easy office job. And it's like, how much time do you want to invest in yourself when everything's already tailored and heavily biased in your favor?
Y'all know that TikTok that girl says, what's the point? No, let's really think about it. I have like 3 jobs that I'll do throughout the week, right? I really have to stop myself sometimes and think, like, I really have to think big and outside the box, or else this is gonna be my life until I die. I'm gonna continuously be in this rat race if I don't think of something that's gonna put me in a comfortable spot so that I can at least enjoy my life for a bit before I die. And when I say think outside the box, no, you literally have to sit here and think of a game plan, whether it's creating a business. It gotta be something outside the box, because working these little 9 to 5s, working these little Uber Eats jobs, like doing these jobs that, yes, for now it's like I need to make money, but for the long run, like, you're gonna continuously keep having to make money. I need something that's gonna make me some big boy money so that I don't have to continuously keep on chasing these jobs, these 9 to 5s, these little jobs that this world makes you chase after. You're gonna have to continuously keep chasing. So it's like, you really gotta think outside the box. We gotta think big, or else we're gonna keep chasing. We're gonna keep being in this rat race forever. And the fact that I have to sit down and think like this is, what is really the point of all of this?
So again, right, you're kind of seeing the inevitable results of feminism. Women are somewhat waking up to the fact that the system as it is, the 9 to 5 jobs and things like that, are a scam. And you have this kind of, as I say, societal breakdown of typically a man. See, if we didn't have this whole feminist and ridiculousness of the liberal culture, normally a man would sit down and explain this to a woman, that this system is a scam, that it makes sense for her to be in a relationship and take care of household and family duties while a man takes care of the earning income side of things, because a man would effectively shield her from a lot of these kind of toxic work environments, these kind of, the stress of making money in an unstable job market with inflation and all these things. He would make a lot of the smart decisions for their long-term stability. Now, women are kind of exposed. There's no men to kind of protect them from that beyond the simps who are in the office who will pick up the slack for women not doing their jobs or things like that, right? So you'll end up having all this type of dysfunction of women lacking the protection that a man would provide and guiding them in the right way, because apparently if a man's guiding a woman now, it's mansplaining, it's the patriarchy or whatever. So you have them on the front line of this dysfunctional system dealing with the outcomes and the consequences of it, right? And then it's like, what would a lot of these women run to? Some women, they run to producing adult content online, whether it's OF or things like that. Some of them make money through that quite quickly so they can retire early. Then you've got what type of other game plan could they have? If they're going to have a business, you have a lot of people just kind of following whatever the trend is, the whole shiny object thing, where whatever the latest online business trend is, they fall into that. Oh, people are drop shipping, so everyone goes into drop shipping. Some people are trading FX, everyone jumps into that. A lot of these people, they don't really have a lot of tangible skills or unique skills, and then they end up just falling into whatever the trend is, and they end up getting scammed, paying a lot of money for expensive courses and things like that. And they don't really have a long-run solution for themselves. And most people are not going to have a long-run solution, and many people are going to be stuck in dead-end 9 to 5 jobs for the rest of their life, which the system has created, completely artificial, time-wasting 9 to 5 jobs. And that's why people are unfulfilled in those jobs, because they understand, even if they're not that smart, they might understand at a basic level that these jobs are kind of pointless. They're just propped up to keep the system going, even though you could really automate a lot of jobs even before AI. But these jobs exist because this system, the matrix, if you want to call it that, needed to perpetuate people being in this kind of debt slavery of studying university degrees, getting into a lot of debt, and then having to pay that debt off, then buying a house, and then having to pay that debt off through their jobs. So lots of people are waking up to this kind of scam system. And again, this whole kind of being a hamster on a wheel, chasing, a side income, maybe through Uber Eats and your main 9 to 5 job that doesn't pay well enough. This whole system is very deliberately rigged in a particular way to pay you just enough to keep you going in that job, to keep you in this kind of sense of like a hamster on a wheel, or like a rat running around in a rat race. It's all deliberate. It's not a coincidence that this exists. And one thing I find funny about this is that I see a lot of women venting on TikTok or other apps, mainly TikTok. It's like, do they not understand that people on TikTok are not your friend? It's likely some of her friends or potential co-workers could leverage this against her and get her cancelled at her job and make her lose her job. There could be other instances whereby people are just laughing at her back about her struggles. loads of people and loads of women specifically, depending on TikTok, they're kind of exposing themselves emotionally as being coming across as emotionally unstable, even if some of their criticisms are correct. So they become the laughing stock of the world. And this whole thing about begging for help, like, there's two ways when you compare the way a lot of these girl boss types behave versus a lot of men. A lot of men would kind of be in a solitude if they realize they're in a dire situation. They would be in solitude. They'd really think to themselves, okay, what situation am I in? How can I get out of it? If I'm really unhappy in my 9 to 5, what can I do on the side? How can I manage this in an emotionally cohesive, logical, rational way, rather than you go on an unhinged rant on the internet? Because a lot of these women come across like crying out for help, and some man, is going to end up contacting them, and then he'll come from a wealthy background and they can pursue their career, exciting side hobby on the side as a side hustle while the man picks up the bills, and these women can live an easy life. So it's like, in a sense, these women just can't fail, because either the corporations are going to pick them up by giving them hiring and promotion preferences, which I mentioned before, or some beta male at work, some kind of beta orbiter, some simp, some beta box is going to be in a relationship with them and pay their bills, and they're going to have an easy life that way. Whereas most men in this situation, millennial men, Gen Z men, who are, the younger you are, the more difficult you have it in terms of this economy and having a stable job and buying assets like houses and things like that. They've not got anyone to catch them when they fall. The system is already kicking them in the face while they're down, with the inflation, with the kind of biases against them and the cultural biases and the hiring biases against them. But these women can run to the internet, and I'm sure sooner or later some guy will kind of pick up the tab for them. And if they are on the internet begging for help, it kind of shows they have no original ideas, because a man would come up with an idea, set up the business. If it doesn't work, come up with another business until they can kind of essentially make their income and leave, or leave the system, leave the West, leave the job, things like that. So we had an interesting insight there in terms of girl bosses having meltdowns. I thought they wanted a career. Now they want someone on the internet randomly to save them, or they want some kind of alternative, but they're not coming up with really tangible ideas. I don't really see a lot of entrepreneurs through that, apart from OF and things like that, which seems to be the most viable option. I don't see a lot of female drop shippers and things like that, and all the other type of real innovation I see from some men coming up with their own unique businesses. So in this kind of reality, if you want some genuine career advice of how to navigate the corporate environment, the girl boss environment as a man, or if you're a woman, you're looking at an alternative, you want some honest, straightforward advice without all the BS, liberal feminist propaganda, brainwashing, I'm here to provide that honest career advice. So feel free to reach out to me. There is a link in description, and I can speak with you directly, and we can move forward there. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you in the next video.